All right. Good morning, everyone. So we've had a couple of days of, well, more than a couple of days. We've had like a freaking week of intraday insanity. Okay, there's the sound now. I'm all screwed up here. I don't know why. I don't know why I was up real early and a little out of sync, I guess. Anyway, someone was making a reference about the open interest in options in MT Live yesterday. And I said, yeah, I wasn't part of the topic to speak about. But when the question came up about what about upside targets on a stock that's at new all-time highs? And as long as the stock is liquid, and liquid by meaning options are liquid and trades enough volume and so on, you can always go look at that options uh, screen and where's the big open interest? Where's the big volume? And and in addition, like today, it's been like that way for the week. But if you look at SPX and look at where the big open interest in puts and calls are further out, you see 6,700 is a big level. And that's where, prices really haven't been able to decline too far or above or below that. So options information, it can be useful, even if you're not trading them. Oh, yeah. All right. So look, we've had these messy days. Um, Ups and downs and really not going much of anywhere overall. I think, and I mentioned this during the week, institutions, I believe the majority think, and the reason to being, we had these seasonal periods. September didn't turn out to be reliable as a seasonal worst month of the year, but everybody's counting on the end of year rally. We've already had a significant rally from the April low with little blips around along the way, not much. So I think there's a big, focus on accumulating ahead of the end of year rally. And so institutions are buying on the way down, and then the uncertainty of, hey, the government shutdown, what's going to happen with the tariffs, so on and so forth. It's sickening, right? Anyway, it is what it is. So, you know, I'm hoping that prices will come down lower because the deeper they come down, the further they are from resistance, and it sets up, a nice potential. It washes out some longs, which is a good thing. And you know, again, everybody anticipating the rally, and we'll see what comes. So I got a chart in a video over here, and that has been unloved lately. It's still an institutional favorite, and it's in an uptrend, but semiconductors and financials have been taking kind of turns at supporting the market intraday. And I mentioned in the room yesterday, um, hey, if they can both get in sync one way or another, we could have a trending day. Oh, that'd be something to keep an eye on. And Nvidia's obviously a big stock for AI and semiconductors. And take a look at, I think it was TSM. That started topping out. Um, it hasn't broken down, but if you take a look at that, put that here, and maybe a 65-minute chart would be more appropriate. Oh, yeah, they're daily. You can see it's just been going nowhere. You may want to set an alert down there and see if it starts to break down. And looking at there's their daily chart, but looking at some of the financials, like this one looked great. Look at this insanity. It's pushing up above here. It gaps down. Now I guess this is today. It's gapping up today. I mean, this is like, make up your mind. This is like, what do they call this? Bipolar price action. I just said, in the opening slide, it said the market's a mess. Time frames are out of alignment, creates more uncertainties, according, of course, with the news. So we need to see things come together. And so intraday here, let's go. Is this one? Yeah, this is pre-market still. You see things are coming down a bit here on the spiders. They were looking like they were going to go up. They didn't even reach the top of the resistance area, the top of yesterday's bar. And now I suppose there's some news. I don't know. I'm not listening to news, but it's coming down pretty aggressively down toward, that little low area, as you can see, which is, I'm looking at the daily chart too. It's in the middle of yesterday's range. So essentially it's going nowhere. Maybe today's the day where, well, we had trends, but then they fall apart. And that's why, I was saying, yeah, before, most days they've been starting out kind of like with an attempt to follow through and it rips back the other way. So keep an eye on that. See if we get another one of these little fake out moves. And then there was a lot of going nowhere for a while. And then, as what often happens during MT Live, the market makes a move. And so, there it was. There was this nice move. And during MT Live, we were talking about voids and V tops and pullbacks. And, as we were talking, there it was. Power, V, shallow, up, and then, the sideways consolidation. Um, I often say, hey, sometimes they go down because they didn't go up. And that sideways consolidation at some point, it's like it's supposed to keep going up. And then it didn't. Longs get impatient and start hitting the bid. And maybe there was some news that was coming out, right? Yesterday, there was speculation that the Supreme Court would make Trump give back the money for the tariffs, then maybe not. So it's a loony bin, you know. So, all right, let's get back to the markets. All right, so let's look at the 24-hour chart down here. I know I'm going to have to relook at SPX when we get to that. Now that I see where it is, it should stabilize in this area. It's where the pivot lows are from overnight, which of course are low volume. And the significant, so you want to look at over here. Why don't I have my cursor on there? Crosshairs. Yeah. So down here, those lows, 676, 676, 677, somewhere down here. That's where the pivots are. 676 down. Yeah. I guess it's this area right there, which is lined up. You can see the overnight trading. So that was used up once already. But there you have it as far as the overnight trading goes. I have to color code this, but yeah, you want to look at the real trading, so to speak, meaning it happened during the trading day when there was a lot of volume and traders around, but it's beginning to stabilize here. All right, let me just check these numbers because with a sell-off like that, they're definitely going to adjust. Just update SPX and we'll move on quickly. since you got me talking a little bit too much there on social media, but I enjoy that. I like when people ask questions because Dan and I are always here to share. 68.45. Came down a bit. Nothing crazy. That came down a bunch. Makes sense. All right. So this is now down near 6,700. I mentioned the high open interest. It's also an area, well, the minor support is, give or take in this area. So it's got to get through this gap. It's got to get through the 20 MA. There's a whole number down here. I'll say it's just not going down there today. And it's not going up there today either. I think it's more likely that what we're going to have is it tags the 20 MA in that gap. If it's headed down, it rallies back up again, and we just get ping pong going on. So, yeah, I'm not anticipating any kind of real trending kind of a move, just because we don't have that on the daily chart yet. The higher time frame has to guide you before you start thinking something significant on the lower time frames. All right, so Qs had the same little sell-off going on there, coming down to support in the middle of yesterday's range and essentially running in place, doing a lot of nothing here, just wiggles. So we start the day in no man's land, so to speak. No significant gap above or below a prior day's bar. IWM, okay, holding up near the top of the range. So that's something, but it could definitely go down into the void. So here's your void concept, those of you that were in MT Live. And it fascinates me that it's such a simple concept, and so many say, I really don't get it. Can you explain that again? And so here's an example. It went up, a power move. There's nothing between here. Fluid bar movement. We spoke about that in MT Live. And by the way, a little pitch. These MT Lives are amazing. You should really sign up for MT Weekly Advantage, where you get the recordings. Dan does a trade review of a trade every week. There's lessons in there. For $37 a month, it's a no-brainer. Anyway, power move, fluidity, sideways movement through time, increases the void, meaning it gets far away from any significant support, which dissipates that level as being significant. If it just broke out a little bit and came down on top of the minor support, there's going to be buyers there. You're going to get the V top, the V bottom, and up. At this point, it's like, I'm not so sure. If it moves down there with a vengeance, yeah, there'll be an intraday bounce. You can scalp it, but obviously now there's nothing to trade against. All right, let me go a little faster here. So there's the V top and the V bottom on the Dow, and it's starting to make the turn. So it's more constructive, but what we really want to see is alignment. Now, this is less liquid intraday, so it's essentially unchanged. But ideally, this would begin to have another day or retest this and come back up, and then we'd have some intraday alignment. Yeah. All right. So Bitcoin doing nothing down there on support, just hanging for the moment. Oil selling off here a little bit on that pivot. We'll see if buyers want to step up. And here's an example. There's a fluid move. It's not a perfect sideways consolidation, but this is an example of the idea of, the wide range bar. That's not a wide range bar. Where is this lined up? It's over here. So this is looking at multiple time frames. Everything's universal. Power move. It's the weakest link. It's the power It's not supposed to come back down. Common sense. It's supposed to create support and go back up again. And this was shaping up, and now I don't know what it's going to do. Maybe down, maybe up. Stay away. All right. Silver improving. I kind of like it. Probably worth a little starter position. See if it comes up here today. If it holds this area, I thought it would go lower. Now it's retesting. Had a green day yesterday. Might go sideways, but anyway, this is a constructive pattern, even though it's an upside shakeout. And gold down a little bit more, similar pattern. I thought it was coming down here, but it's building support. And we looked at Bitcoin, looked this, and this. So that's about it. I think some choppy stuff today. We'll look for intraday trades, and swing trades on most daily charts are just not really quality stuff, but we'll see what happens. To you, Dan.
Morning, yeah, that's for sure. It's been very difficult finding quality swing longs or shorts. Ton of earnings. I went through them, deleted a bunch already because there were so many. But there are some interesting gap trades here today. Some of the ones you all are mentioning. Dash. I mean that's just that fits in the category of excessive gap. I love today being Thursday because then we can look for a ton of one DT put spreads. So that could be a short-term exhaustion gap lift. I'm actually in the $18 short puts, and so it's a bullish gap. And look at the weekly, monthly. The weekly's not great, but I love the monthly. So maybe 30-minute high. So that's on my list. Alarms here. Oh, let's see, Neo alarm. My up alarm there went off. So we're in this long. We only got 3 open positions in the advisory and 2 in the weekly. We have very light inventory. PAGS up alarm looking better. Kind of a bull flag here. I moved the stop to yesterday's low. Yeah, look at Quattro here as an earnings stock. I posted that in Telegram. 64.80. So that's a 30-minute high or pullback, bottoming pattern. Look, yesterday's topic. That's a void. That's a monster void. So it has room to go up. My first target would be this 50 MA. APP, bottom right, another earnings, bullish gap, 640 gap into the top of the range. So ideally 30-minute high. Alex, you said 5-minute high. I said that would be aggressive. But, just put it in a thumbnail and see how it sets up. So those are my alarms. Let's go to earnings here. A ton of them. Snap 843. Now I said yesterday this thing, I don't know why it is a wild gapper on earnings. Every single time it has big gaps. So it's a bullish gap with excessive and sloppy. I have enough to watch. On hood down a little bit, no pattern lift. We just talked about Hotel Lima. There's a number of these patterns where based on where they opened were continuation shorts. And when they're gapping over this area, it has a void on the long side. But it's pretty big. That's a big gap percent wise, needs to settle down. EOSC is kind of a bull flag. If you start your flagpole from way down here, counter 30-degree, gapping up 1584, nothing to do now, but it's worth keeping on the list. SCS 257, you need to pull back. EQX 1150. All right, so there's another one of these gold stocks that has a bullish gap. EQX. All right, so this one I like 30-minute high. See, I like them when they get right to the top of the range or just above it and have a void. So 30-minute high, stop, 30-minute low. Cohort 151, it's a big gap, you need to pull back. Devon, W bottom, put spread. If you can get one for tomorrow, would be ideal. 30-minute high. Fresh. 1150. 30-minute high. Put spread. Arm. Messy. Rithmet 76. Excessive gap. Well, a possible excessive gap. And by the way, there's a ton of excessive gaps today, and there have been recently, the past 2 weeks, there's been a lot of landmines. So we just got to see what it does. But if it takes out a 30-minute high, then possible 1 DTE. Now there's APP dash. We talked about 30-minute high, brothers, 50s, 30-minute high. Really, that's an ugly gap. Ugly. So let's see what it does. Kaivo, I love this pattern yesterday. This is a quality bottoming pattern. Momentum move up, deep retracement, going sideways, closing breakout, void. But the gap's too big. I was looking to sell puts on this yesterday, and I forget if it was no weeklies or no premium. The new player could be bad for Uber and Lyft. Well, Lyft is bullish today.
Not commenting on today. Saying what he was talking about last week about the future. And he said, it's upon us, it's coming. He has these cars with no steering wheel, just seats.
So this ACHC, possible gap and snap. That's a Climo. See, I saw it earlier at 18. It's bouncing a little, but gap and snap. Bottoming pattern, it would be an acceptable 1, 2, 3 if it sets up, but I have enough. Elf getting killed. Possible excessive gap. Duolingo. I'm in this one. I got a short strangle, and I got the 190s and like the 370s. So I'm getting hurt on the put side, and expires tomorrow. I'll be looking to get out on a balance, but if I weren't in the trade, I'd be saying the same thing. Excessive gap, 30-minute high put spread. So, and I love that definition of being, disciplined and objective. If you can view a position from the standpoint that you're not in it, even though you are, then you're giving an objective assessment of the pattern. Slide, nothing. Another excessive gap. Look at this thing gapping at $31. Insane. All right, Alex, I'll let you watch APP for me. I'm out of thumbnails. Root, $80. That's a nasty gap, but on support, I have no idea what it's going to do. Kemper, 38, another gap and snapper. Another gap and snapper. Microchip, possible short. I don't know. It's down a lot and kind of 180. I don't know. 145. Hmm, bullish, but resistance. LEU. All right, 287. All right, so that is a big gap. However, it has a void. 30-minute low, I would say target is 250. AC, we've been talking about. Oh no, that's not, that's a different one. 171, possible excessive gap, 1 DTE put spread. I don't know, but I'm adding it to the list to come back and watch. PTC. Now, see, so this is not a good gap and snap candidate because it's a nasty gap from this 15-minute. I wish it was gapping down more, 180 or lower, but yeah, we'll come back to him. RLJ, possible double bottom. I got an alarm at 692. Allstate, 198, no pattern. Quattro, that's the breakout one. But look, now, the more it goes up, yeah, see, so now it's excessive. Now it's excessive. I love when they gap just over resistance. So if it gapped to 64 like it was earlier when I posted it as a watch on Telegram, but now the run ruined it for me. This is a textbook bull rectangle consolidation. I mean, let's see if we get a 1, 2, 3 for tomorrow. AMSC. Oh, wow, just get whacked. Oh, this one's going against me. Shoot, I'm in this too. AMSC. Ah, shoot, yeah, I got the 45 puts. So now that one's going to be a problem child for me. Man, look at the size of that gap. Look, I did the 45s. Are off the chart. And so that's I tell you all when things go against me, I'm not going to tell you just the winners. This one's gonna be a problem child for me. I didn't give any of that to subscribers, so don't worry about it. This climb but no pattern. RLJ alarm. You say I hit my alarm and it's coming in. Devon alarm, double bottom. That's the put spread that I mentioned. BGS alarm. It's gone too much. BTRS alarm. I was hoping for 1, 2, 3, but man, that's a big range already. IBM on Sam's list. This is a retracement from a square top. Again, yesterday's session on void. There's no void here, but it is a bull rectangle. So it is strong, but there's no void to trade. All right, yeah, that Quattro is ripping, so nothing to do there. CCJ. Oh, that's me. I got $90 puts for tomorrow. Rock alarm. I did this one. I did the 320s. And I got $1.90 for them, the 320s yesterday. So let me see. If I can buy a higher strike and get them. Yeah, the spreads are still asinine. In fact, they don't even look open right now. All right, lift alarm. I had a low alarm at 20 because I was going to let my puts go out at full profit. So that's not a good sign that it negated that gap already. So like I said, I was going to let them go out at full profit, but now Now I think I'm gonna close them for a penny, even though 18 is still a long way away. But do I want to pay a penny just to be done with it? Actually, they're bid 3 cents, so I can't even get out at a penny, but I'll bid a penny. And we'll learn. All right, Quattro is going too much. Rock, CCJ, CELH. Sam, this thing's against me. CELH. Yeah, it's, man, a couple of big gaps here. Yeah, see, it just kerplunked in the last hour. I was actually bidding a dime to get out. So that surely turned into a mess. Let's put an order to see if I get filled on the bounce. All right, this Resi bottom right, man, look at the size of that gap. All right, Quattro, forget about it. Gap's too big for me. Lift, I reset the alarms, nothing. Oh, my Rockwell. All right, so spitting a nickel for a higher strike. So Q puts. No pattern for me, and it's falling. But I know you're experienced. Hey, look at dodgeballs. You got new balls, Dodge. New balls. Hey, how's your Dexter filming going, by the way? I got filled on something. Let's see. Oh, my lift at a penny. All right, I'm out of lift. EFX. I don't remember that one. EFX. What's going on there? Nothing. So forget about TFX. Um, what else did I get filled on? Oh, I was selling my $17 puts and I got filled at a penny. All right, so that means I actually got out at zero. On this P turn, I was hoping for a 1, 2, 3 bull rectangle.